If you ever thought that buying a home in the Front Range of Colorado is impossible, this is a conversation that you're going to want to tune in with. I'm with Mandie Pallone of Fairway Mortgage, and we're talking CHFA and Metro DPA loans in the Front Range of Colorado. Mandie, can you just let us know what CHFA and Metro do for you as a first-time home buyer or as a
Yeah.
home buyer in general?
Yeah. So the cool thing about CHFA and Metro, they have pretty high income limits. So all they are is down payment assistance. All it really is. Sometimes people get real confused. So on a do some math, on a typical loan, you need 3% down. And what CHFA and Metro DPA do is they come in and they help you with that down payment. It depends on which loan you go with, but you can borrow to 4 or even 5%, and that will cover the down payment. So they're basically low down payment or zero down payment.
Perfect. And what kind of properties are eligible for financing through these programs?
All of them.
So all homes, that's
All homes.
single family, let's say ranches, if we wanted to get into USDA, but that can be for another video, but also condos, single family homes mainly, which is going to be where most of the first time home buyers are going to be.
Yeah. So CHFA is a state run program and it covers the whole state. Metro DPA, they're more in the municipalities, but they go all the way from basically like Castle and Parker and Elizabeth all the way up to Fort Collins. So anything in that area is going to be covered by Metro DPA. They also have a Colorado Springs program that's pretty great too, but they basically come in and help you with the down payment.
Awesome. And I know that a lot of people are looking at, you don't necessarily have to put 20% down. And you're really talking about potentially putting 0% down or maybe 3% down.
Yeah. Sometimes people come to me and even other lenders or people will really challenge me, but I've had hundreds of buyers come in with $1,000. Can you even?
I was one of those buyers.
Yeah, you were?
So when I bought a house, I literally spent $1,000 to purchase my home.
Yeah. I had a closing yesterday and their total out of pocket was $1,200. Yes. In this market, it's amazing. So in 2 months rent or something to get into a lease, and you can get into a home for less. So down payment and cash up front is your barrier to entry. We have many solutions for that.
Awesome. I like solutions.
Yeah.
Since we're talking solutions, are there any special incentives or grants available for first-time homebuyers?
Yeah. Typically, the two tranches. There's down payment assistance loans where they're going to help you with the actual down payment piece. When we're talking about government loans or Fannie and Freddie or FHA loans, they have a lot of requirements about where the money is coming. We can do these. Typically, we'll do these loans, the CHFA loan between the two of them, is that CHFA will let you borrow the down payment and then it's at a lower rate, but you can pay it back when you go to sell or refinance. Metro, thing that I love about the Metro DPA is that you can borrow the down payment and then every month it's forgiven. And after 3 years, it's completely forgiven. So you divide the amount that you borrowed, let's call it 18 grand that you borrow from them, divide that by 3 years. Every year, $6,000 is going to be forgiven. So it's a pretty cool loan. So you can do those for the loan program. And then there's a whole separate tranche of grants and stuff like that.
That's a great point that you're putting in there. I have another question based upon conversations that I've been having, not only with parents, but kids as well. Parents are really wanting to help out their children to give them a leg up in buying a home. What's the situation with either providing a down payment or being a co-borrower?
Yeah. Yes. The only reason that we would really need like a co-signer is if we didn't have income from a buyer. But if you're looking at buying a house and you have income, we have to go off of the lowest credit. But that's the only time that we would add a period on. If they want to give a gift, honestly, sometimes people come to me and they're like, oh, I only have $5,000 or $10,000. In my mind, that's a lot of money. That's great. So if you can get a gift from parents or family for $5,000 or $10,000, it's going to go a really long way with these programs.
Nice. And if you take money from your parents, are there any obstacles that you would come across?
Totally. There's a lot of obstacles. We have to go through a whole documentation process. So before any money is transferred or given, it's really good to go over like how we document that as a lender before we transfer money.
Awesome. And since we're talking about documentation, what will me or John Q. Public, who's looking at becoming a home buyer, what are they going to need to provide to qualify for these?
Yeah, like documentation and stuff. So there's 4 things we look at. We look at income, assets, credit, job history. So sometimes people get so nervous, even me. Anytime I apply for a mortgage, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to find things out about me. I didn't think of something. They're going to find something in my past. It's really nerve-wracking to get your credit pulled. We get it. It's really nerve-wracking, but it's really not bad. So let's talk about the 4 pieces. They're very simple. And if we have the 4 pieces, anytime people get hyper-focused on the details, I try to let's zoom out and let's talk about these 4 things. And if you have them, we should be able to make a mortgage work for you. So the first one is income. And how are you paid? Are you hourly? Are you salary? Are you a W-2 employee? W-2 employees, we can work with their income all day long. If you're self-employed, it gets a lot stickier. The next one is income, assets. Assets, we really only need $1,000. Especially in a market like we're in right now, where a lot of sellers are paying for closing costs and things like that, can get in for $1,000. So assets becoming less of an issue. Credit, we only need a 620 to qualify. In some cases, people are always trying to pay their cards down before I pull their credit. And don't do that. We can project and we can talk about that. We'll talk about credit, but just let us pull your credit. And I can see right plain on the front page of the credit report, and it'll say if they paid off all their credit cards, they would get 53 points or whatever. So I can see that. And then the last one is assets, credit, and job history. We only need 2 years job history. Schooling counts for that. Or if you went through some kind of special certification process or anything like that.
So if you're a plumber or an electrician or in any type of trade, like a welder, any trade-based program or like on-the-job training, if you will, or a journeyman kind of situation.
Yeah, anything like that. If you go through a certification process, we can sometimes use that and correlate the job history pretty easily.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we have those 4 things. We can get a lot done.
Awesome. Do you have any other details around CHFA or Metro that we might be interested in knowing?
Yeah, they've been around a long time. They're great programs and we use them on the daily. But a lot of lenders, some lenders are not you have to find a lender who's well versed in them because a lot of lenders just don't do them. It's just not their specialty. A lot of different lenders have different specialties. So I would say if you hit a roadblock and maybe your lender doesn't offer them or talk about them, keep shopping. Find somebody who really does these. I'll say my specialty is this. This is what I do. And there's other things I won't name that I'm maybe not so good at because I don't spend as much time on them. This is like my passion project, and you want to find a lender who knows the programs and goes over them really well.
So really, this is your niche.
Yeah, this is my niche. Yeah.
So since we were just talking about credit and borrowers and kind of going through that process, how do you handle credit challenges or other options for borrowers with less than perfect credit?
Yeah, so credit is always the scary piece. I totally get it. I never want anybody looking at my stuff. I hyperventilate and I don't want them to pull my credit. I don't want them to look at my pay stubs, but it's really not that bad. I promise you, I've seen worse. I've seen worse credit. Your credit is not the worst I've seen. And so we look at it. It's very black and white to us. No judgment zone. And we can tell you this is what you need to do to get back on track. And we have a lot of solutions. We can give you advice for free. If it's just paying things off. If you have old things on your credit that are from your past and you're trying to get deleted, we have resources too. I work with a really great credit improvement program. you have to pay. And what they'll do is they'll go and dispute things for you on your behalf. I've worked with them for over a decade, and they have really good success. They've gotten my clients 100 points in 2 months just by challenging old things. And then the credit bureaus are obligated to take them off of your credit. So, yeah.
Any kind of last nuances in regards to CHFA, Metro, or any grants that you were specifically thinking about?
So it's two pieces. You can borrow a down payment. That's the easiest, best way to do it. It's the most forgiving income limits in Denver. So all of these programs have income limits. But I will say they'll go up to $186,000. And let's say if one spouse makes $150,000, the other one makes $70,000. That's great income.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, we can leave the $70,000 spouse off of the loan, and then they're underneath the income limit. We've got a down payment assistance option, but then we've got grant program. There's 10, 20, 30, 50 grants in Colorado. So there are two different organizations that will do it. There's a statewide organization called CHFA. They'll help with grants that you just get money. You don't have to pay it back. Amazing. Then there's local municipalities that will have it. There's things like the city of Boulder, city of Aurora, Denver, Adams County has some really great grant programs. And then there's nonprofit that have grant programs too. One that I worked with is Project ICU, which you work at PorchLight. They've been pretty closely aligned with Project ICU.
Okay.
And they're helping, empowering women who are looking to become homeowners, single women. And they'll just give you $5,000 to $12,000